So we have ourselves one of the biggest signings that we could have seen go down today. The New York Rangers, everybody. They've been dominating in the NHL so far, and they have now started dominating on the cap sheet because they have signed forward Alexis Lafreniere to a 7-year, $7.45 million cap hit extension. Take a look at this. Year 1, Lafreniere is getting a $2 million base salary and an $8 million signing bonus. In year 2, he's getting $5.5 base and $2 million in bonuses. Year 3, he's getting an $8.5 million base and a $1 million bonus. And then in years 4, 5, 6, and 7, he's getting no bonuses and regular salary throughout the course of the year at $7.15 for 1 year and then $6 million for the next 3 years. 5, 6, 7, that's 3 years, right? Years 3 to 7 also include an 8-team no-trade list. So, this is some pretty big news for a guy that has been playing some pretty big hockey, and it was a really good thing here for the New York Rangers to sign a player like Alexis Lafreniere to a 7-year extension, which takes him on until, when is that going to be, 2032? Yeah, that's a really good deal, especially for a guy who has just been getting better and better. He is now at a point per game. He was doing all of this and more without power play time, without significant power play time at least. So the fact that he was able to be as good as he was, and he was able to really take things into his own, it kind of goes into that conversation we were talking about over the course of the past few years that I still think reigns true. NHL fans, me, you, everybody in between, we got kind of spoiled by the 2010s era of first overall picks. We had guys like Nathan MacKinnon and Aaron Ekblad going out there and doing extremely well in their 18-year-old years. We had Connor McDavid, Jack Eichel, Austin Matthews, and Patrick Laine in 2015 and 16 that dominated the NHL straight away in their rookie years too at 18. So as the years went on, we started to see guys like Jack Hughes in 2019, and Lafreniere in 2020, and Owen Power in 2021 that weren't immediate game changers in their first NHL seasons. And a lot of us, we were kind of used to the McDavid stepping in right away. Oh, you're first overall? That means you're going to be amazing, and you're going to be totally tearing down the house at 18 years old. Wrong. We are now in a regular old first overall era where actual development needs to take place before these guys can make themselves known as household NHL stars. And what I wanted to do in this video was go over to that 2020 NHL draft and dive into some of the other guys that were taken in and around the top, and just kind of talk about where we are now, since Alexis Lafreniere got that extension. Sorry, the garbage man is outside my apartment. You can hear their truck doing all their things and getting the garbage out, but still, I'm going to continue with this video anyway because it's late and I need to get this one uploaded. But Alexis Lafreniere making $7.35 million a year, 7.45, excuse me, is a total stud of a hockey player. Last year, he had 57 points in 82 games played. Going over to some of the other guys that were taken near the top of the draft, Quinton Byfield is in a similar spot. He's making $6.25 million till the end of 2028-2029, and he also had himself a 50-plus point season last year. Now, unfortunately for Byfield, he hasn't really had the best start, where Lafreniere is a point per game right now in 2024-2025. Quinton Byfield only has 4 points in 8 games played. But for Byfield, he is definitely next in line to take over the top center spot on the team after Anze Kopitar leaves. Byfield has just been a total monster, and you just got to give him some time. He's going to get back up to speed, and he's going to be able to start scoring points once again. He had 20 goals last year in 80 games played, so a goal every 4 games or so. He has gone 8 games this season without scoring a goal, but he still has that capacity to being as good as he can be. And heading into 2028, 2029, we know for sure that QB is going to provide solid hockey for the remainder of this contract, and at $6.25 million, it certainly has that potential of being a steal. So Quinton Byfield, definitely a good name as well. Going over to the 3rd overall pick in that year's draft, Tim Stutzle might just have himself the best contract out of all of these guys. It's the most expensive for sure, but he's also shown off the most too. 22 years old, as is everybody else that we are talking about in this video, and he's making $8.35 million a year till 2031. The Sens wanted to lock this guy down hard, and they did that. They gave him the huge extension because, for the most part, he's been a very good player. 90 points in 2022-2023. Last year, he had a down year, but he still had 70 points in 75 games played, and this year, he is on pace for 100 points, and he probably has a good chance of hitting it, considering the Ottawa Senators have been off to a pretty hot start lately. I mean, they've started to win games, and Timmy Stu has been producing points like crazy in these contests. Not to mention everybody else. Drake Batherson's having a good year. Brady Tkachuk, of course, is right in the thick of it. I'm in the thick of it. Everybody knows. And then you have Josh Norris, who has also been scoring the lights out. The Ottawa Senators have been getting some good goal support from throughout the lineup. And Linus Ullmark, of course, is a much-desired upgrade over Jonas Korpisalo. So, Tim Stutzle leading that charge, doing his thing, $8.35 million contract. And then the next guy that was taken in this 2020 NHL Entry Draft was Lucas Raymond for Detroit. He's making $8 million, 8.075 till the end of 2031, 2032, and he has himself 6 points in 7 games played to open up this season. A little bit less points per dollar compared to some of these other guys here, but he still has that capacity of growing, considering he is like a top-line player in Detroit. If he was on the Rangers or anywhere else, who really knows if Lucas Raymond would have exhibited the same growth, but in Detroit, he is one of the main guys. We had seen him come alive at the end of last season, towards the end of it, and how he almost willed this Detroit Red Wings team into the 2024 Stanley Cup Playoffs. There was a lot to like out of Raymond, and I think just considering his talent pool, there's a reason why these guys all went top 4. Jake Sanderson also is having a crazy good year too for Ottawa. He's been amazing everywhere he goes and he does great things. But I wanted to talk about these 4 guys here because they are the forwards of the draft. If I had to rank these guys right now based off of talent, it's really tight, honestly. Like, you could believe in any one of these guys more than the other, and it would make logical, rational sense. For Alexis Lafreniere, it's the untapped potential because he's not really being used as one of the best players on the power play, and there still is a lot more that you could ask out of him. For QB, it's the profile, it's the unicorn-like qualities, because when do you see a center who is as big as Quinton Byfield is at 6'5", 216, dance around the ice and move with such grace like he does? That rarely happens. Tim Stutzle has been the most productive player out of these guys. He's been so dynamic, so good for the Ottawa Senators. And then Lucas Raymond, he's got that dog in him, and he's got himself an ability to will results to happen in Detroit. And I think there still is a lot of growth for him to go through as well while the Red Wings rebuild and try to get better and make themselves known as a playoff team. But at the end of the day, the contracts goes as follows. Alexis Lafreniere, 7.45. I made that mistake twice in this video. I wonder what that says about me internally. $7.45 million a year as the contract extension. You have Quinton Byfield making $6.25 million. You've got Timmy Stu making $8.35 million, and then you've got Lucas Raymond making $8 million himself. So I almost said 7 there. Yeah, no, $8.07 a year. That's exactly what it is. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about this conversation, comparing these guys, Lafreniere, Byfield, Stutzle, Raymond. What are your thoughts on how these guys' careers have progressed, and how are you feeling about the draft a few years after everything came and went? Who is the best player out of this draft? Who has the best contract? And do you think I'm kind of blue balling y'all by not talking about Jake Sanderson or any of the other guys that are mentioned here on this list? Raymond, Stutzle, Byfield, Lafreniere have all been very good, so I think the race is pretty tight, but you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, how you are feeling about that. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.